Hi, I'm Colin, and I'm going to talk to you about growing vegetables at home. So, first of all, you might think, I can't grow vegetables at home, I need to be an expert. I haven't got any special equipment, and I've never done it before. That doesn't matter. Anyone can do it. You can do it anywhere as well. You can use flower pots, different kinds of pots, or you can use any kind of container. So yesterday I planted some rocket, which is a kind of salad, really nice peppery flavour, in this old Jacob's biscuit box. And I filled it with compost, a mixture of compost and soil actually in this, and I just scattered the seeds on the top, and then I covered it over with a little thin layer of compost. And as you can see, it's nice and moist. So it's important that the compost is moist. Right, so today we're going to do two things. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to plant some beans. There are different kinds of beans, but the ones we're going to plant are the sort that climb up. We call them runner beans. You can get smaller ones, which are French beans. First of all, we need to sow the seeds. So I've got the seeds here, and I'm going to put them, I'm going to try two different things this time. Okay. I'm going to try starting some of them off in egg boxes. Now, I've got some compost here in the egg box, and I'm going to poke the seeds in. Now the compost is nice and wet. It has to be a little bit wet, not sopping wet, not so that you can see water on the surface or anything, but not bone dry either. So I'm just going to poke some seeds in to there, and I'm just going to make sure it's covered over. There's a little there. I've got a pile of compost here, so I'm going to put a bit more on top of that. And then I'm going to put another one in here and cover it over. So when you're handling compost, this is compost bought from the garden centre. You can buy it in supermarkets and places like that as well. Pound Stretcher, similar. And it's quite dry, but and very fine, so it doesn't actually make your hands really dirty afterwards. But you can wear gloves if you want to. Especially if you're using sort of wetter compost and soil. And so I'm just putting that in there, put it in there like that. So that's that one done. But the other thing I'm going to experiment with is I'm going to try putting some in a big pot. Now, the thing about planting seeds is that packets come with instructions on. So they have best before dates, because the seeds don't last forever, and they also have a little calendar at the top which tells you what time of year to plant them out. Now this actually says we should really be starting this in April, but it's actually been a very early year this year, and it's quite warm now, so I'm going to try these now anyway. I don't think it's going to do any harm. It's nearly April. I'm going to put some compost into this big container here. This is just one that was left lying around when we moved into our house, and we've never used it for anything. So I'm going to fill it up. First of all, I'm going to put some bits of old brick. Actually, this is sort of pottery from an old flower pot from ages ago. And the reason you put that at the bottom is partly to weigh it down, but it's also to help it drain, help the soil drain. The water doesn't all pool in the bottom, and it'll drain away easier. So it stops the plant becoming waterlogged, because that can actually kill the plant as well. Too much water is almost as bad as not enough water. So that's enough there. You can use anything. I've got where's my this? I've got some examples, just bits of old stone. I've even heard of people using broken up polystyrene packaging, but that's quite light, so it wouldn't help to weigh it down, but it would still help it drain. Right. So the next thing, I'm going to put some of this in here. That should be enough for now. Now, with me, what do I do with my seeds? Here they are, I dropped them on the floor. So I have a few here. A few more. And I'm just going to put them in a circle around the outside of the container. Around in a circle like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That will do in this one, I think. No, I won't put one in the middle. I'll just leave it like that. So what's going to happen with these is they're going to grow up. So they'll after a few weeks the seeds will sprout and they'll grow up, but they'll want something to climb on. So now I'm going to give them something to climb on. I don't really need to do this now, but I want to show you how to do it. Could wait a bit. So I'm going to make a little tent for them. Put this in there like that. That's a bit short, that one. That'll do, I think. Now, if these get taller and they're too tall for this, then I can easily just put in some longer poles. But for the moment, this will do. I'm just going to tie a bit of string around the top. And in a few weeks' time, hopefully I'll be able to show you how this has worked out. Now, the thing with the other ones that I've put in the egg box, my idea with these is, because the egg box is cardboard and when I water it, it's going to get soft, and as the seeds grow, the cardboard will get very soft. So what I think I should be able to do is to, once they're growing, once the plants have started to grow, is to cut these apart. So you see how you have the little sections of the egg box, cut them apart and put them in a similar pot to this, but just put them completely in the soil in the little unit, little single sections of the egg box, without having to disturb the roots or anything. I'm not sure if that's going to work. I'm going to see. A lot of gardening is about experimenting. If you don't have the ideal conditions or all the equipment that you need, you can experiment. If you don't have a trowel like this, you can use a large spoon, as long as you don't use it for food afterwards. Right, the other thing we were going to do, so I'm just going to move the beans over here. The other thing I was going to do was plant some sunflower seeds. It doesn't all have to be about vegetables. So these are sunflower seeds, and I want something to put them in. So what am I going to use? I'm just going to use some pots. Again, these will grow big, so eventually I'll need to transplant them into something else. But these little pots will be fine for now. So I have some compost here. This is B&Q's finest, I think. So I'm going to use gloves for this. It's generally better practice to use gloves. I'm just not always very good. But it makes it easier to use your hand than using a trowel or a small spade or anything like that. So sometimes compost that you buy is quite dry when you get it out of the bag. This stuff actually looks quite good. As you can see, it looks dark, and that's often a sign that it's quite wet. So that's good. So now I'm only going to put 2 seeds. I'll put a couple in each one just in case they don't work. These say sow by June 2021. So that's got a good lot of time on it. If you've only got older seeds, like you have some kicking around your understairs cupboard or something, then it doesn't matter, just try them. But it's better to have fresher ones if you can get them. So I'm just sticking them in this, I'm making a little hole, sticking it in the soil and leaving it like that. I'll do them a little bit apart in each pot. And then we'll see what happens. But when these start to get bigger, you'll want to, if both of these grow, I'll want to carefully tease them apart and then plant them in either into the ground or into a big pot. And then because they grow very tall, you need to have something to support them with. Maybe more canes like this or other sticks. So I think that's enough for now, but I'm going to be doing more videos and I'll tell you about other plants. Other things that you can grow are tomatoes, carrots even, potatoes. You can grow all of those in pots and in containers. So I'll see you next time. Bye bye.